daily forecast today. Pretty similar stuff that we've been talking about for the duration of the week, except for a few changes in those fire conditions out in California. They seem to be improving right now. The winds are decreasing and the humidity is increasing, improving conditions out on the fire line, helping those firefighters get those fires under control. We do have more updates on that Arctic air mass that's expected to move into the northern portions of the country, dropping temperatures up to 25, maybe in some places 30 degrees below the average temperatures for this time of year. So fairly cold, and then along with that, we're going to see some wind chills get dangerously low in some areas, and then we'll see some snow and rain in some areas. A few low pressure systems look like they could be on the way, so some areas could see a little bit of precipitation, maybe some storms in some areas depending on how much warm air there is. But before we get into all that, Raising Hail Tour 2025 starting February 4th up in Edmond, Oklahoma. We'll be out there. A lot of the Mets are going to be at that show, so if you're interested in seeing what we're expecting for hail this year, come by and say hi, see who makes your maps, and then after that we'll be moving into Texas, Illinois, Colorado, Nebraska, and Florida. So see what we're expecting for hail, tornadoes and wind this year. See how active things are expected to be, and if you're interested in purchasing a ticket, go ahead and use this coupon code RHTTaylor10 for $10 off any of your tickets. So yeah, it should be a good time if you want to see what we're expecting for storms this year. Yesterday there wasn't too much going on. Had a few snow showers up in northern Minnesota, a few rain showers down along the Gulf Coast near Houston, some rain showers in Florida as well. Not anything super strong or anything close to severe, just some nice little rain showers down there, and then some snow moving across the Great Lakes region. West Virginia starting to get some snow. They're expected to get quite a bit of snow over the next few days here. Got a winter storm warning out in effect for that area. In terms of what we're seeing for average temperatures, significantly above average temperatures for the northern Great Plains. Things are warming up right before they'll get a blast of cold over the weekend, and then slightly below average for portions of the East Coast and the Appalachian Mountains. Florida actually, to them, may seem a little chilly, still in the 60s and 70s out there. And then for tomorrow, you can see cold air just starting to peek in to the country in Montana, and this will push off to the east-southeast as the weekend goes on. So around the country right now, mainly have high pressure systems setting up over the bulk of the country, have a couple of warm fronts moving through, raising those temperatures up behind it. So really not a ton going on other than the snow in the Great Lakes region and the Appalachian Mountains. That's kind of the main story for right now. Temperatures up in that area in the 30s, 40s in some areas. Up in the northern plains here, we're looking at temperatures just slightly above freezing, which is pretty warm for this time of year. Up there, usually they see around 20, 25 degrees as their average temperature. Down in the southern plains, we're looking at temperatures in the 50s, so slightly above average down here for today and tomorrow. Looking like we could see a shot of cold down to the southern plains with that Arctic cold front moving through. And then in terms of the active alerts today, we have winter weather advisory for Pennsylvania, Ohio, parts of West Virginia, and then that winter storm warning that I was talking about where they could see up to a foot of snow in some spots, mainly in the higher elevation areas of the Appalachian Mountains. That looks like it could be a pretty significant event, and that is until Friday. Those winter storm warnings and winter weather advisories expire. And then the red flag warning down in the Los Angeles area, that expires at 3 p.m. today. So finally, fire weather conditions look like they're going to be improving later on this afternoon and into the evening. Finally, the firefighters should have an easier time out there getting fires under control. And then up in Montana and Wyoming and Idaho, looking at some winter weather advisories and high wind warnings with that Arctic cold front coming through, pushing some snow into the higher elevation areas of the Rocky Mountains. Got the Bighorns down in Wyoming, look like they could be getting some snow as well. In terms of the fires down in LA though, we're looking at pretty much the same acreage as yesterday, 22% containment now for the Palisades fire. So they are just incrementally getting that containment up there, limiting that fire growth as much as possible. And now the Eaton fire was at 35% contained yesterday. Now we're up to 55% contained. So the lack of winds out there and the increasing humidity is really slowing that fire growth. Firefighters are now able to get things a little bit more controlled. In terms of the fire weather outlook though, still an elevated fire risk for today for the area of around Los Angeles and Santa Barbara. But then as we go into tomorrow and then the few days after that, things look like they should be clear, no fire weather risk out there. So as soon as they get those fires under control there, things look like they should be improving. So going into the end of this week here, see some snow picking up in West Virginia as we go into this evening, and then really as we go into this evening, we'll see that low pressure system along with that Arctic cold front just starting to show up in northern Canada, and that'll push off to the southeast as the days go on. And then as we go into Friday, see some nice rain start to pick up in the south central U.S. here, starting in Missouri. Got a nice little low pressure system center in Oklahoma and Arkansas. That'll bring some pretty solid rain showers, maybe a few thunderstorms along the edge of that line there. In Illinois, Indiana, and Kentucky, they could see some heavier rainfall with this system as it moves through. And then you can see we kind of have a double low pressure system, one up in Canada and another one down in the south central U.S. here. Got a cold front coming across here. That's what'll bring that nice cold air coming all the way from the very far northern portions of Canada, and that'll kind of undercut this low pressure system in the south central U.S. and trigger some snowfall along the northern boundary of that low pressure system. So we'll get some snow falling going into Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio. They could see some decent snowfall rates, especially if you are on the eastern or western edge of any of the, no, I had that right, eastern edge of any of the Great Lakes out there. Could get some lake effect enhancement from those snowstorms out there. On Saturday night, we could also see some snowfall in the panhandles of Oklahoma and Texas, along with, of course, like we were talking about before, that snowfall in the Appalachian Mountains. West Virginia should see a decent amount of snowfall from this event as that snow just kind of lingers around out there for 24 to 48 hours. Should see some decent snowfall rates. And then, of course, Great Lake effect snow lasting through Monday evening and into Tuesday morning. So we can look at these snowfall amounts here. West Virginia, like I was saying before, 12 plus inches for some of the higher elevation areas of the Appalachian Mountains. You can see those lake effect enhancements of that snowfall on Lake Erie and Lake Ontario. Lake Huron having some lake effect enhancement too. Same with Lake Michigan and Lake Superior, all having these lake effect enhancements of that snow band that's expected to move through with this cold front. So higher elevations in the Rockies though, of course, they're going to get some snow as well. Not going to be as much as West Virginia, but they should still see a decent amount of snow. For the jet stream, we're looking at a few little jet streaks. So right up here is where that Canadian low pressure system is going to be, and then right down here is where that south central U.S. low pressure system is going to be. So the cold front going to ride right along that jet streak, another cold front or cool front down in the south central Texas area. So that'll kick up some precipitation, and then as we get into Saturday and Sunday, that cold air is really going to surge to the south, well below average temperatures for anywhere from Billings to Oklahoma City, Atlanta, Washington, D.C., pretty much anywhere underneath this upper level trough is going to see well below average temperatures. And now we have another small little low pressure system moving in off of the west coast. Below that though, we'll see some above average temperatures for some areas around San Francisco. Really the only area of the country where we're expecting some above to near average temperatures over the next week or so. Here's what we're looking at for temperatures, getting a little bit more specific with the numbers here. As we move into Friday afternoon, high temperatures in the mid-30s for Minnesota. You can really see that cold air starting to surge in from the north. Temperatures in the low 20s down south. We're looking at temperatures in the upper 50s, 60s. A few areas might hit 70 degrees before that cold front really surges through. And now we're down into the single digits in Bismarck, Minneapolis. Out ahead of the cold front, temperatures look like they're in the mid-20s, in the lower 30s. And then as we get into Sunday, now you can really see that Arctic air mass surging south all the way from north of Toronto here, down to Denver, up to Billings, expecting to be really cold over the next several days through the weekend. So Bismarck, -12 for your low on Sunday morning. Sunday afternoon high, looking at -4 for Minneapolis, -3 for Bismarck. So not really going anywhere with that cold air. Monday morning is expected to be the coldest morning. So Sunday through Monday is really when that peak cold air is for the northern plains here. -18 degrees in Bismarck, -13 for Minneapolis. And then further down south, seeing temperatures all the way, really San Antonio, 28 degrees. So all of this cold air is going to get really far south. Miami really the only warm spot in the country at this point as we get that Arctic air mass. Now, an important thing to talk about when you talk about cold air is what is the wind chill, because that really adds a big effect when you're talking about this cold air. So you'll see that cold air pushing in all this white here. You're looking at the coldest air, -20 degrees in Thunder Bay, -15 degrees in Superior, Wisconsin. Same within Fargo for Sunday morning. We don't have the data yet for Monday morning, but it's going to be even colder with that wind chill than it will be on Sunday morning. So 6 to 10 day outlook here for your temperatures, well below average temperatures for a good chunk of the country. The warmer air is expected to fill back in for the northern plains in this time frame. So that's why you're seeing near average temperatures for North Dakota, parts of South Dakota, and Montana, and then warmer than average temperatures expected for parts of Nevada and California over the next 6 to 10 days. And now for precipitation, drier than average for most of the country, and then maybe some snow showers for the Dakotas, Montana, and Wyoming, and parts of northern Minnesota. And then along the Gulf Coast, it looks like they'll still be getting some just repeated rain showers down there over that 6 to 10 day time frame. So a lot we covered today, but that's all we got for now. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok if you're interested in learning more about us. Or if you're interested in purchasing a plan, go ahead and scan that QR code up above me, or you can give us a call at 855-334-4245, email us at info@hailtrace.com, or